Yeah, we got some things to talk about tonight that are fun and amazing. We got some things to talk about tonight that are terrible and frustrating, and makes me want to beat somebody over the head with a 2x4. Preferably some
things to talk
executives
about
at
that
Sony.
were in fact
All right.
inevitable.
All right.
The moment that
But
check
that
was
being
written,
said,
this
right.
was the end game.
Right. But that being said, hi Cheeks, how are you?
Hello.
All right.
Hi,
So
dude.
what's new with you? What you been playing the past couple of weeks?
Well, we finished up our Ren Fair performance career last weekend. I have been playing. I have Forza installed, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
Fair.
I've been playing MLB The Show 26, tiny little bit of Windrose. I started 007 last night. I obviously did not get as far into it as you have. But right now you have far more time than I do.
It's
A few
true.
months ago, that was me.
It's true. I do.
I need to get the new MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries DLC that just dropped because, boy, if you're a Battletech fan, yeah, baby.
Hey, Buck. So for me, it's been, let's see. Dabbled in a little bit of Windrose, did some base things, want to do some more base things, played a bit of Forza, really like this iteration of Forza, except for one thing, and I'll say this, and I'll come off my Forza soapbox. Whoever decided that the controls for driving around in the open world and the controls for driving in the races should be different by default, I just want to have a talk.
Those persons should be taken out back and whipped with a noodle.
I just want to have a talk, okay? Because I spent and then for whatever reason, I've heard this complaint from a number of people. The default controls in Forza, in terms of the sensitivity of the sticks, if you're using a controller for steering, are terrible. Like you can nudge the stick and go careening into a wall.
You know what? Some people would think a sensitive stick is a good thing. That's all I'm saying.
God damn it, Cheeks.
We're still talking about gaming? Count it! I think the counter's a little behind.
It might be. Oh, this one
the counter should be at like 91.
Yeah, so this one is, for some reason, they don't match up, but I can't figure out why. Let me see if I can fix that.
Just give me 2 and we'll be good. There we go. That's the correct number. I keep track. Oh yeah.
There we go. So other than Forza, I played and beat Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, which is fucking phenomenal. We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
a little
I'm not
bit later.
paying $70 for that game.
We'll talk about that a little later. Lego Batman, that game kind of blew my mind a little bit. How wonderful that game was. I have 2 problems with it. Again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then
it looked good watching you play it, but it ain't $70 worth of good. For me.
And then just started the 007 First Light yesterday. I think I'm probably about like 60 or 70% of the way through that game at this point.
And by started, he means most of the way through it.
But I'm pretty sure I'm like 70% of the way through that one at this point, which honestly I'm okay with. Like, I mean, I kind of figured it was going to be a sit down.
Well, you've been playing it for like 3 solid days, so I mean,
well, 2 yesterday
hours that you've been playing
yesterday and today, and according to Steam, I have 17 hours in the game.
It's not terribly long, but let's remember, Buck, he's not working right now, so he has much more time on his hands.
Right. So we're talking probably.
That is not saying anything other than it's not that short.
Right.
It's also not really long.
Well, the other thing is, like, you have to remember that this game is also designed for replayability because of there's different ways you can do these missions, right? Yeah. It has that little Hitman aspect to it where you can go back and redo things. Plus, it has all the tax sim stuff that I haven't even touched yet. I haven't even seen what the tax sim stuff is.
So the campaign itself, there's stuff after the campaign, but yeah, it's not terribly long, but it ain't terribly short either. There are certainly shorter games.
Right.
And longer ones. I mean,
right. Right, yeah. Well, and for the amount of content that it gives you, and for what I am satisfied with what I have played and how long each mission is in terms of when you start a
Sure.
mission and kind of where you think it's going isn't always where it ends up, and
Yeah,
like
what
how
little
kind of
bit
they
I've
all
played has been
yeah
quite lovely.
yeah
It's about the right length.
um
And this is a balancing act with this sort of game too,
yeah
because the missions get too long, you get bored, they're not long enough. You're like, that's it. There's a very fine line to walk.
right.
Um,
Right.
you
So
know,
with Bond specifically, right? I said this kind of at the outset, and it really rings true. Is that this game? Because a lot of people with 007 First Light were worried that it was going to be, a Hitman clone and nothing more. But what it really feels like is it feels like a Hitman, Uncharted, and Watch Dogs kind of had this weird baby, and it all works really well together. They did a
yeah,
really
the
good
bits that I've
job.
played have worked together, and yeah, it's not just go here, kill dude.
Right.
Which is yeah, I can understand why people were kind of worried about that.
Well, sure.
But yeah, but at the same time, I was more worried about would they be able to implement the other aspects as opposed to would it only be that?
Fair.
You
Fair.
know,
And I really think that they have succeeded in most
because
of the things.
spy games are hard,
Right.
yo.
Right now for me, the game is sitting at like an 8.5, 9 out of 10. And somebody asked me earlier, like, why is my score that? And I said, because I haven't seen how the story ends yet. How the story ends and how it wraps up will determine if my score stays where it's at or if it goes up. This is one of my favorite single player games I've played in a while. And again, I just beat Lego Batman, which for me was a solid like 8.5, 9. But Lego Batman
Yeah.
had two things that I could not get over. A lot of people are like, well, it should have been a 10. It should have been a 10. And I'm like, no, it shouldn't have been a 10. Because for me,
No.
Lego Batman had two problems that I couldn't get over. One, the stealth is not stealth. Right, I wrote.
Yeah, the stealth is ass.
The stealth in Lego Batman is not stealth; it is slower walking. Right?
Sweet.
There, do not.
So it's like me in real life trying to be stealthy. I'm
Right,
just
but
gonna move a
do
little
not
slower.
do not tell me that I have to sneak up on somebody and do a takedown on them when I can't actually sneak up on
Right.
them.
Exactly. Yeah. So here's the thing. If you get a 10 out of me,
Yeah.
you're gonna know that game is fucking good.
The last game to get a 10 out of
Because
me.
some of my favorite games only get 8.5.
The last game to get a 10 out of me was The Witcher 3 in 2015.
I see. I wouldn't even give The Witcher 3 a 10.
But at the time, I had not played. At the time, that game for me was perfect. I had no issues. A lot of people were reporting bugs. It was an incredible experience. And speaking of The
Mass
Witcher 3.
Effect 2.
Yes, okay, yeah. ME2 also got a 10 from me. But The Witcher 3 is also apparently getting DLC next year.
Yeah, I have absolutely zero care about that. That game, I've played that game. I'm not putting that game back on and trying to go all the way back through it just to be able to play that DLC.
Well, right. I'm pretty sure that they've said it's going to be a standalone. Like, you don't have to play through the whole game to get there. You can just install the game and play through the DLC.
Right.
From what I've gathered. So I mean that's at least nice. Because I was worried about that. I was like, so you want me to play the game again, huh? I don't want to do that. But apparently, no, you can install.
Yeah, for me, and we'll touch on this again later. The time for that game has come and gone.
Sure.
Now, that's not to say that if you still love playing The Witcher 3, you play the hell out of that game. Because Lord knows I still play Skyrim once in a while, and I go back to a lot of older games. Just for me, that one has come and gone. But I was never as enamored with the Witcher trilogy of games as a lot of people.
One and I always freely admitted that 1 and 2 were clunky as hell, and if you didn't know the lore or have an interest in the lore, you were kind of shit out of luck.
Which, given that I've read the books, I did.
3 is the first one that really kind of
everybody
got it.
Opened it up.
Yeah, everybody got it. But returning to Lego Batman for a second, the other gripe that I have is that because Rocksteady was a co-developer on the game, they allowed them to do like the cool things like the combat and like the Arkham Asylum style, takedowns and things like that. That's all good and good.
Right.
The problem is that they also reverted to an old school way of thinking when it comes to the way the grapple system works in the game. So what I mean by that is if you played Arkham Asylum or if you played Arkham City, right, you remember that if you were flying or gliding around, I would be looking at, like, say I'm looking up here, right? And I'm looking up here and I want to grapple up here to this next ledge. Well, the game apparently thinks that I want to grapple to the street lamp 3 blocks away down there. Because you can't control it. They solved that in Gotham Knights. They solved that in Arkham Knight.
That's like the parkour in Assassin's Creed 1.
Right. Like, why
did I just jump off the wall?
Right. Why did we revert to this broken, almost 20-year-old system?
The first thought that comes to mind was that a limitation of the Lego engine?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's the first thing that kind of pops into my mind as a possible thing of why they might have done that.
Right.
But yeah, who knows?
It was just so weird. It was just so strange, and it kind of took you out of the experience you were having a little bit. And so that's where I was like, I can't forgive this, right? Like, if it happened once or twice, whatever, it's a bug. Oh, and the other thing is that sometimes there were a couple little bugs. I posted one on TikTok the other day, well, across all of our shorts platforms, where I was fighting some dudes as Catwoman, and then all of a sudden everybody disappeared around me.
There's a kink in there, I'm sure.
I was like, well, I deleted those men real good, chat. Mm-hmm. Right. I'm so good they disappeared.
But there is. I can't actually think of a game that's perfect.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, exactly.
There's always something where I go, man, I love all of this game except that over there.
Right, but the point, the point that I was is that, like, for a number of years now, the live service, machine peddlers, we'll call them, right, have been trying to convince us that single player titles and single player gaming is dead. And they've been trying to do this for like a decade now. Yet, here we are, right? This week, the past week, 2 weeks, however long, it is proof that these cohesive, narrative-driven campaigns
Two games
have a
does
place.
not proof make. Two games begins to establish a pattern.
Right.
Two games is not proof, because if I go to Steam right now and look at all the other releases, I'm sure there are more single player games. Most of them are going to be complete crap. Of course, then most of the multiplayer games are going to be complete crap. Now, with that being said, and I said this before the stream, I do hope that this is the beginning of companies realizing that the live service model is unsustainable, and let's go back to making products that are finite.
Right.
You play them.
Yep.
You get a good story.
Yep.
You move the hell on to the next one.
Yep.
Instead of trying to keep these things perpetually going.
Right.
Yeah. I do too, Drag. I love single player games. Don't get me wrong, but my preferred game is multiplayer. Note the lack of the word massive.
Right.
All I want to do, for example, is get into Fallout or Skyrim or even SWTOR, for that fucking matter, or EverQuest, or whatever, and tool around with a couple of buddies. I don't give two craps about the 10,000 other people that are playing this game at the same time as me. I don't care.
Right.
Arc Raiders. I just want to get into Arc Raiders and go pop some stuff with friends. That's it. It doesn't matter. So, but at the same time, most of the time, and I mean, I say this, and if I look at my machine right now, the bulk of what is installed is absolutely single player games.
Yeah.
You know,
or games that can either be played single player or cooperatively. I mean, you and I play a lot of survival
the bulk
games.
of what I have installed is probably just single player.
Yeah, fair.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is just single player games. It doesn't have any multiplayer whatsoever. Okay. You know, like, I would love to get into Starfield and just tool around with a couple of buddies.
Right. Same.
You know, that sort of thing. I don't need massive. I do like multiplayer.
Right.
But I don't need massively multiplayer. So games like Windrose and even Ark and things like that are pretty much perfect. I can go off and play them to my heart's content, just me, or we can pop a server, get a few friends on, go have a wild time.
Exactly.
You know,
I mean, the other.
So hopefully, the live service paradigm is starting to fade. I'm not holding my breath.
I'm not holding my breath. I think that companies are starting to look at live service as I think they're starting to look at it differently, and they're being more selective about what they're doing.
You have to, because now you've got a saturated market.
Yeah.
You've got
I agree.
So when you come along with a half-assed game,
right?
I'm looking at you. You know the one.
Yep.
It doesn't do what you need it to do. We'll talk about that one in a little while.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
So,
but like my thing is like, we're talking about single player games.
On the other hand,
but like you can also look at a game like Subnautica 2, which has been in development hell for a while, and we've covered that before. But then it finally comes out in early access, and it's already sold 2 million copies.
It has. There is indeed a large elephant in this room.
There is indeed a large.
So, but on the other hand, the appeal, obviously, of live. Listen to me being a live service apologist. I'm not, by the way. I'm a realist, and I know how this works. With live service, obviously, the money stream is, in theory, somewhat continuous. With, well, look at Lego. Boom, that's what you get. Yeah. You know, you get my $70. You're not going to get another $70 from me for Lego Batman because I already bought it.
Right.
You got my $70 for First Light. You're not going to get You're not going to get another $70 from me from First Light. Now, with that being said, where do you actually draw the line? Because The Witcher 3, that's a perfect example. It's got several DLC packs, but it's not technically a live service game, or is it? But that revenue stream is still finite, is my point.
Right.
And so the idea here, and part of this is because, you know, when you're spending $300 million to make a game, which is dumb, you're not going to make that back most of the time. Your Windroses, your Subnauticas, your, what's the other one lately that's been huge, that was surprisingly huge?
Blanking on it.
Anyway,
we talked about it like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
So
we talked about it like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, like what
the hell is the one that sold 6 million fucking copies?
Crimson Desert?
Crimson Desert.
Yeah.
Not a live service game.
Nope.
That's one of the
well, to be fair,
that can make that no, well, again, if we're defining live services ongoing and not just DLC drops.
Yeah.
And let's be fair, most of the time when people talk about live service, we're really talking about cash shops. That's what we're really talking about.
Right. Well, and to be fair, they're
updating store. We're talking about buying packs in MLB or Madden or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, Crimson Desert's not complete. They're still doing it, and they've already talked about. But at its heart, it's just a single player game. I would love to have multiplayer in that game.
Same.
I think fooling around with 2 or 3 of us in that game would be a blast.
I think it'd be great. That'd be incredible.
So but the thing is, Crimson Desert is one of the few games to make back that kind of money.
Right.
You know,
yeah. That doesn't.
The latest
that,
Assassin's Creed surely didn't.
Right. Yeah.
The
that
latest,
doesn't.
you know.
Yeah. Those things don't happen generally.
And on average, you just don't make that back because that's why game prices have gone up.
Well, right, but
and
that's why the live service model got so popular. But it's also part of the reason why budgets started to inflate because companies were like, well, we can spend $200 or $300 million on a game, but we can make it back over a longer period of time versus needing to make it back within the first 6 months, or else we're fucked. Right? That was the idea. Was that we can raise the budgets a bit, but then we can make the money back over a longer period of time.
But the problem is the budgets have gotten out of hand.
But yeah, but right, exactly. But yeah, we've talked about
sustain Hollywood level budgeting.
Yeah. You cannot have you cannot have a $500 or $600 million budget for a video game.
I am not buying nearly as many games at $70.
Right? Yeah, no.
You know, because I have to be more, and that's for the standard versions.
Right.
So before you get to the, you know, I remember when $70 was the Uber Silver Deluxe Gold Platinum blah blah blah. Here's everything in the bag of chips edition.
Yep.
And I get it. Prices have not kept up with the times, but there's a reason for that. Gaming is a pure luxury market.
Yep.
Pure luxury market. If video games went away tomorrow, it really wouldn't change anything about how you do or don't pay your bills.
Nope.
Or because you don't, as much as we, and don't get me wrong, I am a hardcore gamer. I have been a gamer since my very first Telstar Pong system back in the early 70s. Good Jesus Christ, I'm old. But if video games disappeared tomorrow, it's just a luxury market going away.
Yeah. So it is. Absolutely. I mean, my thing is, speaking of luxury markets, we got to talk about the Steam Deck price increase, because that's
right. Steam Deck kicked the price up by like $200.
It's insane. Look, the Steam Deck has already kind of become a bit of a wonky value because new units have been out of stock for a few months, right? Through Valve, whatever, right? But the fact of the matter is like, other newer handheld consoles have kind of quietly become a better deal.
Yeah,
even if the Steam Deck was selling more units, right?
Well, I think the Steam Deck was selling more units just by sheer knowledge of Valve.
Well, right. I think that's a big
for a long time I didn't even know the Asus ROG existed.
Yeah, I think that's.
I'm like, how did I not know this existed? But I did.
Valve announced today that the Steam Deck OLED, so the newer one, the prices are going up by over $200. Hey Chuck, the 512 gig model is going to be $790.
Yeah. In general, the prices went up by $200.
Yeah, and the terabyte one is $950, which is insane.
Right. I'm not spending $950 for a portable system.
Well, here's what's really funny. Here's what's really funny is that for 7-8 months now, I've been saying what a bad deal the ROG Xbox Ally X is at $1,000. But now with the upgrades that machine has over the Steam Deck, better processor, double or almost triple the RAM, like a faster SSD. Like if you are for whatever reason in the market for $1,000 handheld, buy that over the Steam Deck any day. Like, and like, of course, all these companies are like Steam, Valve, and Asus
that instead.
Yeah, Valve and Asus
buy that
and
instead.
Yeah.
And if you know me, that's really weird that I'm actually telling you to go out and buy an Apple product.
Yeah, Valve and Asus and Lenovo with their Legion Go and all this. They're all, it's the cost of doing business right now because of the shortages and this, that, other thing. And I'm like, sure, but this
but
1 terabyte.
But
think of it as a 1 terabyte Steam Deck now costs more.
If that shortage resolves itself, I bet them prices don't go back down.
I don't think they will either. But the thing of it is that a 1 terabyte Steam Deck now costs more than a PlayStation 5 Pro.
Right.
That's insane. And
I got two letters for you.
Yeah, right. Well, and the same component crisis that they're blaming all this on has already delayed the Steam machine and the
Right.
Steam VR, the new Steam VR headset that everybody was talking about the
Which,
end of
no
last
offense,
year.
but the Steam machine doesn't need any bad PR before it's ever gone on sale. And
Right.
that's what you've just done.
Right, but my thing is like when I was saying this to a buddy of mine on the Star Wars Discord earlier, I was like, look, like this is 4-year-old handheld architecture that just raised its price by $200 plus, right? When that happens, the market's completely fucked, right? You know the market is broken because like
Well, yeah.
you're it's
I mean,
like, you
the thing
are
is, it's
now
broken
acting.
for reasons we absolutely are not going to get into.
Well,
in
right,
this- on this show.
right, but if you want to talk about like the market being broken, like what you've actively done is made old tech, outdated technology a luxury item, which is insane.
Right.
Like and like if you really wanted a Steam Deck, let's say you're dead set on a Steam Deck because you like what the Steam Deck has, right? And you haven't bought one already, and you don't want to go buy a refurbed one, which the refurb ones are still a good deal. For whatever reason, the refurb LCD models are remaining for now. Well, I mean, they are refurbished models. Let's be fair. If they tried to raise the price on refurbs, people would get a little
Why not?
concerned.
Parts are just as expensive.
True. Well, yeah, yes.
Trying to get parts are just as expensive.
Yeah, it's true.
So I can almost guarantee you those prices are going to go up pretty soon.
But
They may not jump the full $200, but I bet they go up.
yeah, but it's so
I bet everything goes up by about 100.
Yeah, fair. It's like if you really wanted a Steam Deck and you didn't buy one like last year or up to now, you're kind of screwed. Like
Right,
we're
too
seeing,
late.
well, and like for all the shit that people give Nintendo, right, about raising the price of the Switch 2, at least they announced it 6 months ahead of time.
Right.
And they're like, hey, on September 1st, that price goes up. So you've got 6 months if you really want one to buy it before the price goes up.
Right.
I cannot
That's
believe
like
I'm
marketing.
saying.
That's what that is.
I cannot believe I'm saying good job Nintendo here, but apparently that's what I'm saying.
Marketing, right?
Oh, you're true.
It's marketing 101.
True, but it's
I'm not saying it wasn't a good thing. It was. It was and it wasn't. Obviously, price increases are never good.
Right.
But they did warn you, and they warned
fair.
you with plenty of time.
Fair. All right, and then you saw a thing about Stop Killing Games.
So Stop Killing
just
Games,
before...
California. Now, this is not a done deal. This is going, but it's going to. This bill is going to move forward. They tried to stop this bill from going to the floor, and they have failed. EAS has failed. Now, Stop Killing Games has beaten the EAS lobby like 3 times now. So the upshot is, just hitting this real quick.
Yeah.
Is if this goes through, and this is in California, then an operator would provide the purchaser we require the operator provide the purchaser with an alternate version of a patch or update to keep the game playable, the game as provided, and prevent the operator from selling, leasing, or otherwise distributing a version of the game that cannot be used by the purchaser independent of services controlled by the operator, or they must issue a full refund. Now, on the surface, that sounds pretty fucking cool, doesn't it?
Sure does, but we don't live with
your games
we don't
aren't
live on
going
the
to die.
service. Yeah, we don't live on the
This is
service.
also, by the way, what's killing live service, because Crimson Desert is not reliant on servers.
Right.
First Light, not reliant on servers.
Yep.
Arguably, the survival games we play, not reliant on servers.
Yeah.
You can peer-to-peer those.
Yep.
So what's going to happen is all these multiplayer games, if all this stuff starts going through, and now they have to provide you a way to play this game when they shut down the servers, what you're going to see is an absolute return to single-player gaming. Because there's no return on investment now. I either have to make sure that I provide you a way to keep playing it once I can't afford to run the servers anymore, or I have to give you all the money back that you gave me. Thus, again, defeating the purpose of developing the game in the first place. It becomes the cost-benefit analysis swings the other way. There's no money in it. Literally no money in it. I am, as much as I like the idea of stop killing games, don't at me, chat. I really do like the idea of it. I'm not entirely sure they've thought this through completely, and
Right.
we're going to see some unintended consequences from this.
Yep, I'm in
And
the
when
same
it
boat.
happens, when you lose your Call of Duty, who you gonna burn? You ain't gonna burn the company. You're gonna go right after these guys.
Yep. Yep.
Suddenly it's going to be their fault. Why? Because that's what we've seen time and time and time again. But I like the idea of it. Nobody likes losing a game, which conveniently brings us to our last topic. So, right. Sure. But that's going to cost them money too, Bal. In order to do that, they're going to have to pre-plan that.
Right, yeah.
Which is going to cost them money.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's like every game, I think, whenever the bill goes into effect, there's a few months after that where it actually takes effect.
Yeah.
So up until that point, you're fine. But after that, you have to provide a way for them to continue to play it. And again, on the surface, I applaud this. I'm all for it. Frankly, if I could play Anthem single player, I would.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%,
if I could play the multiplayer part of it single player, I absolutely would, because the moment-to-moment gameplay is still pretty good.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, they were supposed to.
They were supposed to, and then EA got cold feet. Yeah, that's basically
right. So
which brings us. Well, yeah, which brings us to...
The big news is June 9th will be the last update to Destiny 2. It will then go basically into bug fix and maintenance mode. A lot of those developers will be moved to Marathon. The rest of them will be moved on to new pastures. There's huge ramifications for this, not just the fact that Destiny 2 is dying. Destiny 3 is not greenlit in any way, shape, or form. Sony basically put the entire impairment on Destiny 2.
Yep.
Which is...
I mean,
not entirely the thing, but it's also not entirely not the thing.
I was gonna say we say that, but then what other choice did they have? Because Destiny 2 at the time, let's just put it
on Destiny as a whole.
But at the time they took this impairment on, right? Because they just announced it, right? But at the time they took this impairment,
was Marathon in development when they bought Bungie?
Yes.
Then it ain't all Destiny. Sorry.
But the thing of it,
I won't swallow that.
But it was their only active game. Marathon wasn't active yet. So
doesn't matter. You're still spending money on it.
That's true. You're
still spending money on it. So that's still part of the outflow of your company.
Yeah.
And so now to say, the entire problem was over here, not that, by the way, we got our ass suit off for Marathon and had to go back and redesign half the fucking game.
Right.
And then tag the guy that we stole his artwork.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Look, my thing is like Sony right now is burying their fucking head in the sand, right? They're shifting the entire studio to Marathon, which is a niche game. It's an extraction shooter that is currently, let's be real, it is not performing great. We've talked about this before, right? It's performing okay, but it's facing these weird, let's call them what they are, identity crisis issues, right? Along with community backlash, a lot of it now because of them basically destroying Destiny, cannibalizing Destiny, whatever you want to call it.
They've been destroying Destiny for years. So.
Right, but what I'm saying is the narrative that's coming out, that's being put forth, is that they're cannibalizing what's left of Destiny and the Destiny team to continue to develop Marathon, which is weird because they're moving away from their multi-billion-dollar flagship IP.
Sure.
To something that is completely unproven that most people have said they don't want to play. And look, if you like Marathon and you want to play Marathon, please enjoy the game.
The thing about that is Marathon is maintainable with a much smaller team.
Right. There is
a petition out there on change.org to ask Sony to develop Destiny 3.
Right.
It has just passed 275,000.
I was going to say when I wrote the notes, the show notes, it was at 200. It was at near 200,000, and that was that was 2 days ago.
743 to be exact. Currently,
now look,
my name is on it. I know so Bird's name is on it. However, I ain't holding my breath. But I agree that is the better pathway forward. Because it has. Here's the thing about Marathon. Marathon has zero mass appeal. Adding PvE to Marathon won't fix that.
Well, and then they just announced today too that Marathon's going to have like a free week or whatever leading into season 2
nobody cares.
or when season 2.
That's the
I
thing.
was like, I don't care. I don't give a shit about your game. I'm not gonna pick up and play your game because it's free.
I was half interested. I'll be honest. I was half interested in what they were going to do with PvE in Marathon. Now I don't care.
Yep. Now I don't care.
And
because now
it's a principle of the matter. You've killed the game off that I do love.
Yep.
To try to force me to a game I actually don't like at the moment.
Yep.
So
like, look, do I think this will move the needle? Do I think that it should? Yes. Do I
Not
think that no, hold on. Let me finish. Do I think that it should? Yes. Do I think that it will? Probably not. Because look, Sony.
What, a free weekend?
No. I'm talking about
They've already done several free weekends.
The
PvE thing. Well, here's the thing. Until they establish what they're permanently going to add, nobody really knows because all these new things coming are temporary.
I was talking about the Destiny petition, right?
Oh, it won't move the needle because Sony's already made this call. So, and they're a big enough company that they just don't care.
Well, it's like I think it should move the needle, but I don't think that it will because again they've blamed that almost $800 million impairment solely on Destiny. They don't care about internet signatures and community outcry, and they care about balance sheets, right? At the end of the day, that's what the C-suite executives and the number crunchers are caring about, and those are the people who made this call. They don't care about the content creators who make their living off of Destiny. They don't care about the people who played Destiny for 12 years. They don't care about...
I'm conflicted on that particular subject, by the way. The thing about it is everybody is blaming the C-suite for this. I agree that the lion's share of blame belongs to the C-suite, but not all of it. Some of it is the choices that the devs made, also ignoring the community and ignoring all of the signs that said this was going to fail, and they did it anyway. And then it failed, and then they act like it's all our fault, even though they got warned.
Well, right, but are you talking when you say devs? Are you talking about like management of development? Or are you talking because like the devs, every rank and file devs have no say in that. They just do what they're told to do.
At some point,
even if they push back.
So you're telling me that every feature ever added to Destiny was created by a management level person?
I mean, it was approved by management level for sure.
Approved, yes.
Yeah, and
but it
sometimes
wasn't created by them.
No, but sometimes, unfortunately, and you know this as well as I do, when you're working at wherever you're working, you have to do shit you don't want to do because you need a job. And unfortunately, I think that we've seen...
What I'm saying is at some point, these devs got behind some decisions they shouldn't have.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, if we get fair. Yeah. Or at least didn't put up enough of a fight or put up enough of a...
100% of this does not belong only on Pete Parsons' car collection.
No, sure, but
which actually, if you run the numbers, is nothing. It's absolutely nothing.
Sure, no, but I think that I think the villainizing of Pete Parsons, which is well deserved. I'm not going to sit here and say that Pete Parsons deserves no blame. No, Pete Parsons fucking deserves
a lot of blame.
Deserves a lot of the blame for this because he sold Sony on the fact that Bungie, from what I was reading and from my contacts that I have spoken to, right? He sold Sony on the fact that Bungie not only had Destiny and Marathon, but they had other projects they were working on actively.
They did.
That were
and
vaporware.
All of them were shit canned.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
But the thing is, it's never. At the end of the day, it's never 100%.
No, yeah.
There were bad decisions made
Right.
across the history of Destiny 2. Starting here's where Destiny 2 truly started to die, when the content vault appeared.
Yep.
That is when Destiny truly started to die.
Yep.
That is the moment
Yep.
that it was, and I said this then, I said it is just now a matter of time. Because when you rip out half your game, which also cost them money in court,
Yep.
because they couldn't prove anything
Right.
on the author who came at them about the Red War,
Right.
because they couldn't recreate that, because not only did they vault it, they apparently just got rid of it and couldn't put it back in any form.
Right, which makes all of the times they said, "Oh, we can add, remove content from the vault as we see fit," super fucking disingenuous, Bungie. Because you lied. You flat out. You obviously
Right.
could not do
lied.
that. You had no intention of adding and removing content from the vault.
No, they never had.
You just
any
wanted to
intention
keep
of putting
adding
anything
content
back.
to the vault. Yeah,
They never had any intention of putting of rotating shit through there. And you destroyed the new player experience in your game. What you replaced it with is absolute shite.
Yep. And I've tried it. The thing of it is, like, look, I will
Having played both of those new light experiences lately,
yeah,
I can categorically say that Destiny 1 is far better.
Right. Correct. Agreed. I will forever be grateful to Destiny for what it did for me personally. Right? Not only did it help me launch a career in games media, right? Because Destiny was the first AAA game to really take us seriously as an outlet way back when, right?
Sure.
They were the first one to invite us to all these events and do all this stuff and whatever, right? Like they were they are the reason that I'm sitting here with you right now. If you really break it down, they're part of the reason that I got the career that I have, because I was able to turn my career in games media into content creation, into product management, right? Like that all happened really because of Bungie and Destiny taking us seriously. So I will forever be grateful for that. That being said, I'm not going to sit here and again and say that, oh well, Destiny should never end. Right? We've talked about this before.
It was always going to end.
It was always going to end.
Anybody who thought otherwise, well, I got a bridge to tell you.
Right. It was always going to end. That being said, the best case scenario, and we've talked about this before, the best case scenario would have been for the final shape to come out, and then Bungie to go, hey, so the final shape is out.
We're going to start developing a new one.
We're going to start developing Destiny 3. We're going to give you some seasonal updates, some little stuff here and there, some events, stuff like that. Right. But we're going to mostly go away for a while.
Which,
when we come back,
in the devs' favor, was based on some articles that we've read lately, was in fact suggested, and that was turned directly down by the C-suite. So that part, all the C-suite.
Yeah, well, because we don't want to spend another 200 or 300 million on, but how much fucking money are you spending on fucking Marathon to bleed money?
The thing. You spent 10 years developing the Light and Dark saga, and then you ended it.
Yep.
There's nowhere to go at that point.
Right.
You're done.
You're done.
You destroyed the One Ring. Yeah. The mountain blew up. Sauron is dead.
Right? Okay, now you got to reset. Well, and then the whole thing, the thing that really pissed me off as a Destiny lore fan, right, is all the tweets going, hey, by the way, we pitched Destiny 3 or the next Destiny big expansion with fucking Xivu Arath, and you're never going to see it?
Right. Yeah. I don't give a shit. I think there are other stories that need to be told.
I agree, but at the same time, how long have they built up Xivu Arath? And then now it's like, yeah, well, sorry, fuck off.
Well, you still got the winnower and shit out there, too, which is just dumb. Here's the thing, too. I don't give two shits about uncovering the mystery of the Nine. Part of the thing that makes the Nine cool is the mystery.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
When you show somebody how the magic trick is done, it loses its magic.
Yep, agreed. I would agree.
And that's where the storytelling in this game has gotten at this point.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. It's done, and it sucks. I'm just as upset as anyone else. I don't want Destiny to go away. I like Destiny. I have, like a normal person, over 1,000 hours in Destiny.
Yeah.
And Destiny, in both of them. So, and so I was looking at, I was looking at some numbers. Cross was putting out numbers the other day, and so was Bife. And I'm like, yeah, but guys, no offense, you don't fucking count.
It's your job.
Do this shit for a living.
Right? It's
You're doing this at times you're doing this 8, 10, 12 hours a day.
Right.
With nothing else to do.
Right.
But when you look at somebody like the rest of us, aggressively casual, who have a full-time job and kids, and yet I still have over 1,000 hours in this game.
Right. Yep. And the thing of it is okay. So let's talk about real quick. We've been doom and glooming for a little while, but we are getting on June 9th a fairly significant update to Destiny. We're getting
portal's going away.
We're getting the Monument of Triumph, which will be available to all players as a free update. Basically, it is going to include the following things: the director's coming back, the portal's going away. Apparently, you can still access portal activities at the bottom of the director, but the portal never should have been a thing.
It's not going away completely. It's just getting hidden.
But it will not
be the main thing again. The director will now be the main thing.
Right. The portal never should have gone away never should have been a thing in the first place. The director should have always been a thing. Okay, that being said, we're also getting Pantheon 2.0, which I'm really excited about.
That was one of those decisions that they shouldn't have made.
Right, exactly. We're getting raid and dungeon loot updates, so all raid dungeon weapons will have armor, and armor have been revisited to bring them to modern standards with full tier parity, set bonuses, new perks, and more, whatever that means.
That's cool, but it doesn't affect me.
Cool. Destination weapons and armor have also been revisited to bring them to modern standards with full tier parity, set bonuses, yada yada yada. Sandbox has new aspects. We're getting
translation. We're doing all that stuff to gear that we should have done 3 years ago.
Right. We're getting a new Solar Hunter, a new Void Warlock aspect, a new Solar Titan aspect. A new Hunter's getting a new melee. There are 2 new grenades coming for all classes. There are class-specific abilities for everybody that are coming. And then their exotic
full translation. We're dumping everything that we've been working on, the least little bit, into this.
Right.
So the thing is, my fear is this is going to be a complete and total shit show. Because how much of this stuff is really finished and ready to go? How much of this stuff was half done and they're like, fuck it, throw it in there anyway?
Right. On the downside, all seasonal events are being retired, which is what happens when a game goes in maintenance mode.
We are getting Sparrow Racing.
I was going to say, but so seasonal events are being retired. Armor ornament sets that are previously available for Bright Dust will be made available not only through Direct Exchange but also through Bright Dust Engram focusing, which is new. That's cool.
Right.
You will still be able to purchase silver because, of course, you will. They still want to make money off of you.
You can still buy silver in Destiny 1, so I'm going to give them a pass on that one.
Well, to be fair, that silver purchase hangs over your entire Bungie account. So if you buy silver, it applies for both D1 and D2.
Right.
It's
but the point is, there's still an Eververse store in D1. There's much less in it.
Correct.
But there is an Eververse store in D1.
So they added an updated rewards pass that apparently was originally planned for Shadow and Order.
Of course
that will have a new hand cannon, armor ornaments, and a bunch more stuff. They also increased the number of cosmetic rewards on the pass, including multiple armor ornament sets, ghosts, shaders, and everything. That's like they're like, and more. Yes, we said and more twice. Look, we put a lot of extras on this thing. We hope you enjoy it. I'm like, well, yeah, you have to. It's the last one, right?
Here's the thing. All of that false joviality, fuck off. Just give me the information.
Right. And then exotic armor transmog is actually happening now. So that's thank you. Why did it take
all
the
that
game
shit
dying?
That should have been in the game years ago.
And then, of course, the thing you mentioned, why did it take the game dying for this to happen? Sparrow League Racing returns. The thing I've literally been clamoring for since Destiny 2 launched.
9 Years, because
Not-
that's the last time that we saw Sparrow Racing, right before the release of the Taken King.
Like, I've been clamoring for this
So
forever.
8 years, because I think it came back once after
Yeah.
that. It did come back once after that. So 8 years.
Now-
People have been saying, where the hell is Sparrow Racing?
That being said, they did announce today that
Rockstar thinks Red Dead Online is still successful, Val.
just because of that, monetarily it is. Yeah. That being said, they did announce 2 hours ago that the first developer insight into Destiny 2's final update will land tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Pacific, where they're going to talk through the return of the director and the recently announced distortions activity for destinations and some other things. And the Twitch will be live on Friday talking about weapons sandbox. So we're getting some
Sparrow
information
Racing and
this
Destiny
week.
Rising kind of sucks. They gave it a good shot.
The Sparrow
but the
Racing
limitations of being a mobile game,
Right.
I feel like I can walk faster in Destiny Rising than the Sparrows, to be honest. As much as I like Destiny Rising, and I do, the Sparrows are kind of lacking.
Right.
That's the one thing where I'm like, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to
it's
see them give a pure PC port to Destiny Rising, so that you no longer had to play it through an emulator.
The thing is, I don't think they're going to do that because Rising has lost 95% of its player base.
Sure. So is Destiny 2, and it was still around for years. What's your point?
Well, right, but Rising is not making NetEase any money. And if NetEase doesn't make money, they generally
they're going to cut it.
Yeah, they're going to cut it.
They're going to cut it
at some point fairly soon. One would surmise. Yeah.
So the first Descendant's still making money.
Right.
But
that being
Destiny
said,
Rising was a good. It was a good concept. Unfortunately, once you chose to go mobile game, you kind of hamstrung yourself from the very get go.
What
you've got some hardware limitations you have to be able to deal with in. That being said, I like the story behind Rising. I like the way they went. They made everything for an alternate history type of thing. Everything made sense, which is unusual.
It's not even that. It's that Rising was a good time. My thing is that like the whole thing with Destiny is that you play as your guardian, right?
Right.
And that did not.
As soon as you make it a hero game, my interest level goes down.
Yeah, as soon as you take it from my guardian that I got to create or customize or have a story with or whatever,
some gotcha character that
I grabbed, that's where my bugbear comes into play, and I'm like,
I agree. I totally agree. And we talked about this in another game. I don't even like to be honest. I have a similar issue with 007 in the fact that I'm not playing my own dude, right?
Fair.
Oh, you got him before I did. So AI viewers now, huh? Damn, now you're not even selling real views. Now it's AI views.
I know, right?
All the way off. Not just halfway off, all the way off. Jeez. But yeah, I don't like hero games because again, I don't like. I even have this problem with like, at least with Mass Effect, I could design my own Shepard, right? So he at least looked the way I wanted him to look. Which, to be fair, I ended up using the default Shepard because I was like, that's kind of the best looking one,
right?
But anyway. Yeah, that was a Rising problem. It was like, it's I'm not playing my Guardian, I'm just playing whatever Guardian I have handy.
Right.
That is definitely a downside. If you would take the same game and give me an actual character creator without all the gotcha shit, I'd play it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I didn't mind the gotcha whatever as a I don't have a problem with gotcha games as long as the odds aren't absolutely terrible. And Destiny Rising's weren't, actually. Destiny Rising's gotcha odds were better than some of the other ones out there. Still shit because it's all gambling, right? But so yeah, it had Destiny Rising's problem too is it came along too late, right?
Right.
It came along after Destiny 2 had already shot itself in the foot. And that's before it shot itself in the foot 14 more times. It sucks. It'll be interesting to see if and the thing about that is, even if they do greenlight Destiny 3 in a couple years, most of the people that made Destiny 2 will be gone.
Right.
They ain't coming back. You're going to have to pay them big bucks to come back, and that ain't going to happen. So what happens is all that institutional knowledge that's irreplaceable goes out the window.
Right.
So you're going to basically get BioWare all over again, because the games that BioWare makes now are not the games that BioWare used to make.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, and the other thing is we kind of touched on this, but like where you had mentioned like the people who did, like the content creators who kind of made this their job, right?
Yeah,
like,
I'm kind of conflicted on that. I'll be honest. On the one hand, I'm like, well, shit, that sucks. But on the other hand, I'm like, you had to have known this wasn't going to last forever, and you have no exit plan.
Right.
You have no pivot. You've got no pivot.
A lot
plan.
of them. A lot of them have no pivot. Yeah.
Cross started a pivot a few years back, right, to where Destiny was not.
But
the
like
thing
I saw,
Life will be fine.
Life will be fine. I saw Data will be fine. He's been doing Deadlock for a while.
Right.
I saw Cactus be like, so anybody know any good looter shooters that are coming out?
Right.
And I'm like,
might Sweatsickle, Vase, who's another history guy. Yeah, those guys I'm a bit concerned that they're not going to be able to pivot. Because Bife's been doing lore for like Warframe and a couple other games as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and people are like, I don't know, like there's this big community initiative to log in on June 9th and show the game as much support as possible.
No.
And and
I might log in. I ain't buying shit.
And spend money on the Eververse. And I'm like, I have I have some silver that I've banked. I'm not going to spend new money.
Right.
Like I have no interest in dropping any extra money on it. But like
I'm not giving them any more money at this point.
Yeah, I have silver that's sitting there that I'll find something to spend it on.
Yeah, Tactics will be fine.
Yeah.
But there's some that only do Destiny 2. That's it. They've never done anything else. They built their channel on that, and they don't have a pivot. So it's like, how fast can you pivot, boys?
Right.
Because you're gonna need to.
Because you're gonna need.
And it's not. And the weird thing is, we're talking about like this game's getting shut off. It's not. But the problem is, with no new content, the interest level will fall.
Well, then that's the thing. Is like, okay, how. So let's say the plan, right? This is my question, right? Let's say that the plan is for everybody to log on June 9th and play the game, right? Okay, how long do we need to see these sustained numbers for?
So now we're Rockstar once a month spiking the viewers. Yeah, I saw that video.
Right, but do you know what I mean? Like, how long? Like, are we saying that okay? Like, we're gonna need to sustain these numbers for a week, 2 weeks, a month to get Sony to get Sony to.
And
be
here's the thing: it doesn't change the problems with Destiny 2.
Well, right,
that's the problem. I just simply refuse to play a game I don't like anymore.
Right, but the idea that people have. Right, is that
they're wrong.
And again, they're probably wrong. But what I'm saying is the idea that they have is that if there's interest
probably to it, I think
that is shown,
it's not going to move the needle.
Right, right. But again, the idea that they have is that if enough interest is shown, it could potentially move the needle with Sony. Again, I don't think it's likely. I don't think that it will. But I think that
logging into Destiny 2 ain't gonna do shit. That petition has a better chance of moving the needle than a bunch of people logging in on June 9th.
I think that doing nothing will obviously get nothing, right? So they're trying everything they can to keep Destiny alive. Because the wording that Bungie chose in that first couple of paragraphs,
I'll log in, but I am not spending money.
Yeah,
not happening.
But like the wording,
hate me all you want, chat.
The wording that Bungie chose in those first couple paragraphs was very specific, and it's vague for a reason, right? And yeah, that's what I was about. Is that all the stuff they're dropping?
I'll
will probably keep people engaged for 2 to 3 weeks. but I don't think it's going to keep anybody beyond a month.
Because
really.
you're not changing the fundamental problems with the game.
Right. They need it, and again, they
you know?
need a new game to do that. And I just
the only way to fix the
don't-
fundamental problems with Destiny is to go to Destiny 3.
Right.
And
But
so,
I don't see that happening, and because I don't see Sony wanting to spend again that $200 to $300 million investment.
Here's the thing, we keep throwing out these numbers. I think that number's bullshit, by the way. Here's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to kill it. They're going to let it die. They're going to... And here's what I think is going to happen. I don't think Marathon's is sustainable right now.
Yeah, no,
I don't have confidence that the company that exists can make Marathon sustainable. They're going to have to do a lot to make me interested in buying it.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be honest. I will, in fact, be completely honest. You put in a permanent full PvE mode, I might buy it because the shooting is fine.
Yeah.
I don't think the shooting's as good as Destiny. Some people do. I don't, even though it's the same gun models. But I think Marathon is going to fail at the end of the day. I don't think it's sustainable, or it'll be such a small game that it won't matter. Bungie as an entity will cease to exist completely. They pretty much already do, by the way. But it'll get erased. Those people will get folded into Sony systems. But Sony now owns the IP. And I think 5 or 6 years down the road, you'll get something that's called Destiny 3, but it won't be nearly as ambitious.
Yeah, I would agree.
And that because but then again, you're talking about a company who's known for letting IPs sit.
Yeah.
And die. Twisted Metal, Killzone, not Ratchet and Clank, but Dexter and Jax. Because they just don't think there's any money in continuing those. And there's a list. That's just the first ones that come to mind.
Yeah.
That I know Sony owns. So it wouldn't surprise me if this is it. This is the end. This is all the Destiny we ever get.
Yeah.
Well, right, because a company that big, Concord. So we keep talking about Concord, and while there have been some notable examples, those are still the exception rather than the rule.
Yeah.
Marathon is closer to the actual rule. A game comes out, it doesn't hit nearly as hard as they think it should, and so they start milking it. And that's usually what happens. Concord, what was the other one? What was the other one we were just playing that just got shut down? It just came out, the extraction-y shooter thingy.
Oh, Highguard.
Those are kind of the exception rather than the rule. They're notable, but they're really not that much different than Anthem, other than the quickness with which they sunk it down. So we'll see. I think Marathon will limp along for a few years. I would like to say that, hey, they could turn that around, but you've got another thing that we haven't talked about is what this has done is polarized the communities.
Oh, yeah.
There's a war going on right now, metaphorically speaking, between the Destiny community and the hard Marathon community.
Yeah.
So what Sony has also done is alienated a large part of the people that they actually need to buy into Marathon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to go back to Cross. Cross a day, he's put out a video. He's like, not playing it. I'm done. He's like, sorry to Frostbolt and all the guys because they were supposed to play it this weekend. He's like, not happening.
Right.
It's uninstalled. Not doing it. Now, whether he sticks to that or not, whatever. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to burn bridges. I'll probably never talk to Sony again after this video. But he didn't pull any punches, and he let him fly. And he told him what he thought, know. And whether you like Cross or not, dude has over 1 million subscribers, is one of, if not the largest community in the Destiny community.
Yeah.
Acknowledged by Paul Tassi. That article is hilarious, by the way.
Right.
Because he even puts a thing in that says, hi, Cross, if you're reading this on your video. in the article. That's weird. You know, because it's like a very meta moment all of a sudden. But you know, he basically said, I don't care. I don't give a damn if Sony ever contacts me again. You're
Right.
killing the game that I love. So get bent, you know.
Right.
And they're not, and he's not the only one. My feed is full of Destiny 2 content right now of pretty much the same opinion. I'm not that different of an opinion. I'm pragmatic, and if they try to make Marathon a go and give me what I want, I will honor that by giving it a try.
Right.
If for once they listen to the community,
that's a good joke.
Which is right, which is the problem, which is how we got here in the first place, by completely ignoring the community. Don't get me wrong, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, devs do not need to live and die by what their community wants, because in general, very few players are cognizant enough to say, this is good for the game. What they care about is what is good for me.
Right.
And what is good for me as a player is not necessarily good for the game as a whole.
Yeah.
And maybe Marathon is the same way. Maybe PvE and Marathon just don't belong. That's okay. That's cool. I just won't play it. And that's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
I have a plethora of other games that I'm looking at on my desktop right now that I can play. I have a PS5 sitting right here with a bunch of games on it that I could play, none of which are Marathon.
Right.
So that's all good. That's fine. I am saying if they make those changes that I would like to see, I will honor that and spend the $40 and pick up the game.
Fair. Yeah.
And again, I still don't want Bungie to die as an entity. I know you guys think we hate this company. We really don't. That's the problem. It would be easier if I did.
Right.
It would be much easier to sit here and go, well, I saw that shit coming. You know, told you. Right. But that's really not the case. It's not what we want. I want Destiny. I love Destiny. I did it first. And it wasn't the world I didn't like. It was the original gameplay I didn't like. But then by the time we were Taken King rolls around and I gave it another shot, I was like, oh, hey, they've made some changes.
Right.
Okay. And I honored that by proceeding to play this stupid game for 10 years. You know, but it's just one of those things. Yeah. But games do have their time. You know, and again, what I want is not Destiny 2. What I want is Destiny 3.
Right. Yeah.
I need something new at this point.
Yeah.
I don't even really want Destiny 1, although objectively it's overall the better game, and it's certainly the more complete package now, because even if Destiny 2 continues to exist, it still exists in this fractured state.
Right.
Of you're not really going to bring in a lot of new players because the new player experience is total shit.
Right.
And it's confusing, and there's no real guidance, and you know, so yeah, it sucks. It does.
Yep.
Death of a game, a death of a beloved game is never a good thing.
No.
Guess what? At some point, you will stop playing Skyrim.
Yep.
Because something else will come along.
Yep.
For me, it's probably Crimson Desert. I can see myself playing that game a while.
Right.
Especially as they continue to evolve that game.
Right.
I did talk you into playing.
Yeah.
And you sunk 5,000 hours into it. You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you got your worth mostly.
I think
that was just it.
I think you got your money worth there, Bell.
I was getting to the point where I didn't feel like I was getting my money's worth when I continued to give Bungie money.
Right.
You know, and so you got to make me feel like I'm getting my money's worth again, and I will give you money.
That's so many bits. Oh my god.
Yay, bits.
That is so many bits. Holy crap.
Are those?
Thanks, pal.
Naughty bits.
Oh my. But yeah, I mean, overall, like, I think that we've talked about this a lot on this show and a lot on this channel, is that we have always wanted Bungie and Destiny to succeed, and now that we're coming to the end of that rope, right? We said about a month ago, right? How long is that rope that Sony's going to give Bungie? We found out, right? We found out, and overall. They're
at the end of their rope, and they've discovered that there's not enough rope left to tie a knot in it and hold on.
Right, exactly. They've run on a rope. They cannot hold on forever, and it results in one of the most polarizing and community fracturing things to happen in a long
Right.
time. And look, do I think it's a dumb decision that they're making in terms of basically shuttering Destiny 2, putting it on maintenance mode, whatever you want to call it, without having a plan in place to move Destiny forward? Absolutely. Because Destiny is what brought Bungie to the fucking table with Sony in the first place. And the fact that they're willing to let that community and those people and the people who are passionate as fuck about this, the fact that they're willing to look them in the eye and go, yeah, get fucked, basically, is really frustrating and really stupid. Because now
well, Sony.
you've turned.
But here's the thing: that's not Sony's player base. They don't care.
I mean, it's their player base now. They own Bungie.
Sure, but it's not the player base that they brought to the table.
Yeah.
So there's less care there. Obviously,
Yeah.
and again,
Yeah.
Arguably the C-suite doesn't give a damn anyway.
Well, right.
Because,
All
again,
right.
it's all numbers on a spreadsheet.
It's all numbers on a spreadsheet, and they go, well, this one sucks, this one doesn't. Right. It's the reason that the Ghost of Yotei or Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer didn't get further fleshed out. Because while people loved it, it didn't get the numbers that it needed to sustain. Like that is what it is. Like it's at the end of the day, in this industry, if you're not making money, there's no point in keeping you around, and it's harder and harder to make money.
To be fair, that's business in general, right? If
Well,
you're
right.
not making money, you're not going to stay around,
right? But
and that's the problem. But Bungie is not making nearly enough money.
But the point is when it comes to Bungie and Destiny and Marathon and whatever specifically is that they're not necessarily making enough money, but it's also becoming harder and harder for them to make money based on the decisions that Sony continues to make. And you have to and I've seen some wild speculation
There's some
on the Twitter
some of that
machine,
speculation
man.
that's out there.
I have seen some wild speculation on the Twitter machine.
This was their plan all along, right? Their plan all along was to spend $4 billion to just lay everybody off and let all of that knowledge they bought walk out the door.
Right, or my favorite one was, well, Microsoft should swoop in and buy it back from buy it from Sony. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? In what reality would that ever happen?
Right. Especially these days. Microsoft can't decide whether they want to keep investing in their gaming division or not.
I mean, well, they apparently do now because they're making Xbox a huge fucking priority again after letting it stagnate for the past few years. So good on them, honestly. Right. Good on them for that. I hope they succeed. I really do. I really hope Microsoft succeeds in that because I'm an Xbox fan. Always. The
only reason I own a PS5 is because I could not find a Series X at a price I wanted to pay. Exactly. And I wanted to play that stupid game. Right. And there's other things on this I wanted to play because I can't play Spider-Man on the Xbox.
Yeah.
I won't be able to play Wolverine on the Xbox.
Right.
I won't be able, so.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It sucks. We'll see how it plays out completely.
Yeah.
I would like to think the petition will move the needle. I am way too cynical to think that will actually happen.
Right.
I do think, though, that at some point we will see something called Destiny 3. I don't know when.
I don't know when.
Hopefully before I shuffle off this mortal coil. I would like to say hopefully before GTA 6.
Listen, Cheeks. They're not gonna delay Destiny 3 for 30 years, okay?
You say that. Will we get Destiny 3 before we actually get GTA 6? Who knows? Not that I actually care. I'm not a GTA fan. I've tried them. I've played like 3 of them. It's not a good time for me, and it's not because I have a problem with the concept. I don't like the gameplay.
Right. Fair.
I even play GTA Online, and I'm like, I don't see the appeal here. But many people do. Makes an absolute mint for Rockstar. So, obviously I am in the minority there.
Yeah, they're going back to console exclusives, and they're not releasing single-player games on PC. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
they're at least not new titles. Once they come out, I think they'll get released, at least probably a year later.
No, that's the no.
So I bet they do. I
They've
bet they
said
do, no matter what they say.
yeah.
I bet you. I bet you. Bet you a dollar.
Well, right, but all I'm saying is that like from what they've said, they have no plans on bringing the PC at all. I bet that changes.
Sure.
I
They
would.
don't. And but you know how you get around that? You just hire out another company to do it for you.
Yeah.
And then you're not doing it. You're just allowing it to happen.
Right. Yeah.
Just relax and allow it to happen.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see. They're trying to drive more stuff to the PlayStation, which obviously tells you that they're not that confident in the PlayStation. I can confidently say still that overall, for me, the Xbox has far more titles that I will play than the PlayStation does.
Right.
And it's just, that's not to say I don't like my PlayStation. I do. I like it a lot. And I put some stuff on it, not just MLB. Although ironically now I can play Gears of War on the PlayStation. That's weird.
Right.
That's very weird. It's kind of cool, but it's very weird. And now that I have a controller that lets me essentially use an Xbox controller with style controller with the PlayStation, it's much better. Because I hate the PlayStation controller. I don't like the layout. It's my hands. It doesn't fit my hands well. It's not.
Right.
It's not that it's not a terrible controller. It's not. It's just I don't like the layout. The
Yep,
stick layout is not for me. I
Yep.
prefer the Xbox layout.
Same.
The problem is now I have a really good controller, and once you have one, there's kind of no going back.
Yep.
Once you use a $200 controller, you don't really go back to the $20 controller. I didn't pay $200 for it. I paid $60 for it.
Right. Yes.
But it's essentially straight out of the plastic wrap. This thing obviously was never actually used more than maybe once. Everything is there except for the little wrench, which I didn't need anyway. So yeah, I basically took it. So what we're talking about is the Victrix BFG Pro controller. It is configurable to be either a PlayStation style or an Xbox style. Also, you can take one stick out and put in a fight pad, which I installed Mortal Kombat just to try that. Haven't tried it yet, but I want to. I would actually love to have two sticks and the flight pad just to get rid of the little bumper buttons completely. Just get them out of here completely. Right. Give me a 6-button bank as opposed to 4 and my sticks, and I'll be a happy camper. But it's retails for $200. I got it off the Facebook Marketplace for $60. I know Bird picked his up for even less.
Yep.
So, but the problem is now that I've gone to a really good controller, when this one dies, and it will, it's all Hall effects. The buttons, the triggers, and the sticks are all Hall effects. So it should take a while to go bye-bye.
Right.
But it will eventually go bye-bye. And that's assuming that it's not easily to just replace the stick. If a stick goes bad, replace it.
Right.
That sort of thing. I did, in fact, get it configured for the PC and swap it back and forth. So my really nice GameSir controller is now in the drawer as my backup.
Nice.
But the GameSir controller actually has some weird stick calibration issues now. Like I showed you the other night, that left stick is now off center. There's no drift in it, but the stick itself is physically off center. The Steam controller is too close to a PlayStation controller. It's got those close-in sticks. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, fair.
That's the part I don't like. So everything else says that's a really good controller, actually. But it takes a third-party app to work outside of Steam. So that's a problem too. To use it with non-Steam games takes a third-party app to make it work.
Yeah.
So, and I do still have quite a few non-Steam games. A lot of EA games, a lot of GOG games, some Epic games, some Ubi, So, it doesn't work with the game. There's a third-party app that will make it work. Is my point.
Yeah.
But that's just it. I'm spending $100 on a controller that now I have to go get another app to make it work. And don't get me wrong, if I'd had to pay full price for this controller, I would not have. I can't quite bring myself to pay $200 for a controller. For a HOTAS setup, yeah.
Sure,
but for just a controller, no. And and whatever, it's on me. I get it, but I'll certainly pay $60 for a $200 controller. Because I'm paying $60 for a controller anyway, or 70 now, right? So yeah, but yeah, the problem with the Steam controller is the stick layout. I don't like where the sticks sit.
Yeah,
I
fair.
like my offset sticks. It's just a personal thing, and it's been that way forever since the original Xbox brick and the PlayStation 1. Except the PlayStation 1 controllers I actually like better because the sticks were wider. The stick separation was wider. It's
Yeah.
not till you get to the PS3 where we get what I consider the quote unquote modern style controller, which is what I don't like.
Fair.
But it's a personal thing, right?
Yeah.
But this controller is pretty dang cool. It has in fact improved my response time in MLB. I still get
Yeah.
hit for shit, but
Good.
it's
Well, hey.
improved. It's improved the speed with which I miss the ball. Because my eyeballs are old. I just can't find a setting that I like. Because I'm not interested in playing it competitively online, so I don't necessarily need all of the PCI flicky shit. I just want to play some baseball.
Fair. Yeah. Hey.
Hit the occasional home run, play some baseball.
Makes sense.
But yeah, I also installed, like I said, I installed Mortal Kombat, Gears of War, Mankind Divided. So I may stream some of that.
Yeah.
Gears of War is a hell of a game.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I love the Gears of War series.
Yeah.
Gears of War 2 and 3 are peak. Gears of War 1 has some issues just because it's the first game in the series and they hadn't figured everything out yet.
Yeah.
But it's still really good. Gears of War 2 is good. Gears of War 3, which is obviously the end of the original story, is really cool. There's some moments in it that piss me off story-wise. I was like, no! They were great story beats. Don't misunderstand me. I was just like, oh, man! Dang it! No! No spoilers if you haven't. But you would think that in a shooter about just macho dudes that they wouldn't have any story beats that would make you give a shit.
Right.
You would be wrong.
Right.
You would be incorrect.
Correct.
There's a couple story beats towards the end of the story where you're like, oh my god, plot twist.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
I think
one in particular.
I think that'd be great to see you play that. Yeah, to see you play through some of those. Because I
hey,
enjoy...
Gears of War's on sale right now until tomorrow for like $20, and it is duo playable.
Ooh, that's a good deal.
It is co-op playable.
That might be
it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun co-op.
That might need to happen.
Yeah, if you could swing that, grab that, and we could duo through the campaign.
That might need to happen. Yeah, let me go check it. Yeah,
we could flip a coin for which one of us gets to play Marcus and which one of us gets to play.
Oh, good. The old player 1, player 2 debate. I see.
Right. Well, it's really not. It's just you can only have one of each character.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, chat, I think that about wraps up where we are at. Obviously, the Destiny stuff is what it is, and unfortunately, we all knew where it was going. I just didn't think it would. I didn't think it would end like this, especially so soon. I thought we'd get one more expansion.
And again, they had the perfect spot to go out with a bang, and instead we're going out with barely a whimper. That's part of my problem. It's not that Destiny is dying; it's that you're killing it in the wrong spot. You should have ended it at the final shape. It just should have been done. That's it. There's nowhere to go after that. And I think this has proven my point because I said at the end of the final shape, where do you go now?
Yep.
We literally just beat darkness.
Yep.
How do you go bigger? Because you have to go bigger to keep it interesting. And that's the problem with both long-running novel series and game series is the bad guys have to keep getting bigger and badder and bigger and badder, and eventually it just gets beyond the pale.
Yeah. The power creep for you as a player is just insane, and yeah.
So yeah, and I have again. There are certain novel series that has the same problem. There's only so much bigger and badder you can make your bad guys before it just becomes ridiculous.
Right. Exactly.
And to be fair, the stuff that has come after the final shape has been mostly very anticlimactic.
Absolutely, you're right. Though, and look, as much fun as we had with Renegades,
right? It's still just why do we care?
Like, well, it wasn't even that. It just ended, and you were like, oh, that was it. And then now we're never going to get a fucking resolution into that.
That was it. That was it. We're done. What? I remember getting to the end of that campaign, and we were like, wait, we're done.
Wait, that's the end.
Wait, there's another couple of missions, right?
Yeah, right. That's the end.
But no, there was. Well, and it's like, at the same time too, it's like, why the why are you threatening? You're not even on the radar of threats to me at this point, and by me I mean the Guardian,
right?
Because canonically speaking, your Guardian is pretty damn powerful.
Right. Well, again, it's the same power creep problem that we have in World of Warcraft.
He's far more powerful than any of the actual Vanguard. As a matter of fact, arguably, he's more powerful than all of them wrapped up together.
Yeah.
Because canonically, your Guardian is the only one that uses light and dark at the same fucking time.
Yep.
It's like, oh, listen, it's like Ghostbusters. Are you a god? And if the answer is no, well, you have chosen poorly.
Right.
And at this point, even if the answer is yes,
you've still probably chosen poorly.
You've still chosen poorly. So, yeah, the power creep was real. But for story purposes, they try to make this where these guys are threatening. And I'm like, yeah. It starts with Spider, right?
Right.
Why was Spider ever a threat? Answer, he wasn't. Technically, the first time we walk up and Spider starts spouting his shit, you really just go, okay, I'm going to need you to give me a good reason not to tear this place down around your ears because there's nothing you can do to stop me.
Right.
But, he's supposed to be this impressive gangster. Yeah, settle down there, Jabba the Butt.
Right. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll keep an eye out on the channel for us to check out some of the D2 stuff in a couple weeks.
We'll check it out. We'll see what they do.
We'll check it out.
I'm
sure we can convince Nell to come join us and hang out and have some fun. And
right, Spider is Jabba the Hutt you bought off Temu. Absolutely,
exactly. But it is what it is. And as always, friends, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate y'all.
Spider's not the Godfather. He's the Get Father.
Oh, God damn it, Cheeks.
Count it one last time, baby.
Oh.
Listen, we're in the U.S. I can't use the word I wanted to use.
But no, really. Like I said, guys, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate the hell out of y'all. I love doing. I say this every time, but I love doing this show. I love being able to share our stupid shit on the internet with y'all.
Believe it or not, I like it when we don't agree completely.
Yeah,
It makes it for a more interesting conversation.
I agree. But let's find someone to send y'all to. Let's see who's on this evening. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for all the support the past couple of weeks with the games we've been playing. It's absolutely incredible. You know what? Speaking of Destiny 2, Nell's playing Destiny 2. Here we go. Sending us over to Nellstar. Treat Nellstar exactly as you treat us, guys. We love you. Be kind, choose joy, show love. I'll probably be live later with some more James Bond. We'll see. If not, definitely tomorrow. Catch you later. Love ya. Bye.
See you guys.